Jeez. Okay, thank you, Jeremy. Whoa, look, this is live. The launch happening right now. Cape Canaveral, SpaceX launching its latest Starlink mission. In fact, one of 2 launches for them just today.
Yeah, look at this. This is a camera that is actually on the rocket. This is a Falcon 9 rocket that just launched seconds ago from Kennedy Space Center, and we are seeing it leave Earth as it heads up into the orbit to take these satellites up again, all to support their Starlink satellite services.
Yeah, they launch so often, it never gets old for me to watch these amazing launches, and so cool that they have cameras on the rockets now. So SpaceX, you may have heard, set to go public today. What's expected to be the largest IPO in history, a move that could make Elon Musk, by the way, a trillionaire and create thousands of new millionaires inside the company.
Everybody's talking about this one, but long before SpaceX had 22,000 employees, it was just Musk and employee number 1. CBS's Joe Linkent spoke with him about what this moment means for employees and everyday investors.
When Elon Musk's SpaceX starts trading on the NASDAQ, it will become the biggest initial public offering in history at $1.8 trillion, making Musk the first trillionaire.
There was lots of setbacks, lots of highs and lots of lows. Space is hard. Rockets are really hard. We blew up a few engines.
Aerospace engineer Tom Mueller was the first employee Musk hired, testing and building rocket engines.
I met Elon through an amateur rocket club, and he convinced me to come do something exciting, which was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Mueller, now the CEO of Impulse Space, a rocket propulsion company, will be one of many former and current employees holding SpaceX equity, waiting to cash in.
I learned so much from Elon. He's the best mentor I've ever had, certainly. I've never met anybody so driven as him, so focused.
What should the average person who may end up having SpaceX land in their index fund, in their 401k, understand about this company?
I think a lot of people don't realize how much we use space now. If you use Google Maps, you're looking at pictures of the Earth, weather prediction from space. I think there's a lot of things that need to be done in space that are starting to happen now, like orbital data centers. I think it's just really going to take off from here.
As for the average investor, buying a share of SpaceX is a risk.
The stock might, pop on the day one, the way IPOs often do. We think that you have to believe that everything will go right, but the real takeaway is there's no margin of safety.
Right. So much could go wrong. They do it so often. It used to be anytime anybody would launch a rocket, everybody knew and everybody watched. But I can't remember how many they do a year, but it's a lot.
I wasn't sure what he meant by no margin of safety with that investment, but this is definitely something that a lot of people will end up with in their retirement accounts. So lots of eyes on that IPO today.
So if you're thinking about buying shares directly, experts say to treat it like any risky individual investment.
Yeah, they recommend limiting it to just a small portion of your portfolio since the company is still operating at a loss, and investing in it is also a major bet on Elon Musk himself. Even if you don't buy shares yourself, you could still end up owning it. NASDAQ and Russell recently changed their rules to fast track the company into some index funds shortly after its IPO. So that means SpaceX shares could start appearing in certain retirement accounts and pension funds much sooner than normal. Financial experts also warn that growing investor demand for companies like this and others could be a sign that the market's getting overheated. So as always, the advice is keep any investment small enough that you can afford that risk because it is a higher risk.
Good advice.